Hello guys, I'll tell you a story. The Three Little Pigs. Once upon a time, there were three little pigs. Three brothers. They were all the same height, round, pink, with identical cheerful tails. Even their names were similar. They were called Nif Nif, Nuff Nuff, and Naf Naf. All summer long, the little pigs rolled in the green grass, basked in the sun, and splashed in the puddles. But then, autumn arrived. "It's time for us to think about winter," Naf said to his brothers one morning, waking up early. "I'm shivering from the cold. Let's build a house and spend the winter together under a warm roof." But his brothers didn't want to get to work. "It's still too early. Winter is far away. We'll have more time to play," said Nif Nif, tumbling head over heels. "I'll build my own house when the time comes," said Nuff Nuff, lying down in a puddle. "I will too," added Nif Nif. "Well, suit yourselves. Then I'll build my own house," Naf said. Nif Nif and Nuff Nuff weren't in a hurry. All they did was play their piggy games, jumping and rolling. "We'll play a bit more today," they said, "and start working tomorrow." But with each passing day, it got colder and colder. Only when a large puddle by the road started to freeze over in the mornings did the lazy brothers finally get to work. Nif Nif thought it would be quicker and easier to build a house from straw. Without consulting anyone, he did just that. By evening, his little hut was ready. Nif Nif placed the final straw on the roof and, very pleased with his little home, cheerfully sang, "Though you go around the world, around the world, around the world, you won't find a better home, a better home, a better home." Singing this song, he headed over to Nuff Nuff, who was also building his house nearby. He was eager to finish this boring and uninteresting task. At first, like his brother, he wanted to build his house from straw. But then he decided it would be too cold in such a house during the winter. A house made of sticks and thin branches would be sturdier and warmer, he thought. So that's what he did. He drove stakes into the ground, intertwined them with twigs, piled dry leaves on the roof, and by evening, his house was ready. Nuff Nuff proudly circled it several times and sang, "I have a good home, a new home, a sturdy home. I'm not afraid of rain and thunder, rain and thunder, rain and thunder." Before he could finish the song, Nif Nif appeared from behind a bush. "Well, your house is ready," Nif Nif said to his brother. "I told you we'd finish this quickly. Now we're free to do whatever we want. Let's go see Naf and check out the house he built," Nuff Nuff suggested. "We haven't seen him for a while. Let's go take a look." Nif Nif agreed. Naf had been busy building for several days. He had gathered rocks, mixed clay, and was now slowly constructing a reliable, sturdy house where he could take shelter from the wind, rain, and cold. He even made a heavy oak door with a latch to keep the wolf from the neighboring forest out. Nif Nif and Nuff Nuff found their brother hard at work. "What are you building?" they both exclaimed in surprise. "Is this a pig's house or a fortress?" "A pig's house should be a fortress," Naf calmly replied, continuing his work. "Are you planning to fight someone?" Nif Nif teased and winked at Nuff Nuff. They both burst into laughter, and their squeals echoed across the meadow. Meanwhile, Naf continued laying the stone wall of his house, humming a song to himself. "No beast in the world will break through this door. Cunning, fearsome, fearsome beast won't break through this door. I'm the smartest of them all, of them all, of them all. I'm building a house of stone, of stone, of stone." Who's he talking about? Nif Nif asked Nuff Nuff. Is he talking about you? Nuff Nuff asked Naf Naf. I'm talking about the wolf. Naf Naf replied and placed another stone. Look at how scared he is of the wolf. Nif Nif said. What wolves could there be here? Nif Nif said. No wolves at all. He's just a coward. Nuff Nuff added. And both of them began to dance and sing, We're not afraid of the gray wolf, gray wolf, gray wolf. Where are you going, silly wolf, old wolf, scary wolf? They wanted to tease Naf, but he didn't even turn around. Let's go, Nuff Nuff, Nif Nif said at that moment. There's nothing for us to do here. And the two brave little brothers went for a walk. On the way, they sang and danced, and when they entered the forest, they made so much noise that they woke up the wolf who was sleeping under a pine tree. What's all this noise? The angry and hungry wolf grumbled and rushed to the source of the squeals and piggy sounds. Well, what kind of wolves could there be here? Nif Nif said at that moment, having only seen wolves in pictures. We'll catch him by the nose if he shows up, added Nuff Nuff, who had also never seen a real wolf. We'll tackle him, tie him up, and give him a kick like this, bragged Nif Nif. And suddenly, they saw a real, live wolf. He was standing behind a big tree, and he had such a scary appearance, fierce eyes, and sharp teeth that a shiver ran down Nif Nif and Nuff Nuff's spines, and their little tails trembled. The poor piglets couldn't even move from fear. The wolf prepared to pounce, gnashed his teeth, blinked his right eye, but the piglets suddenly regained their senses and, screaming loudly, ran away as fast as they could. They had never run so fast before, kicking up dust as they went, each racing to their own home. Nif Nif was the first to reach his straw hut and barely managed to slam the door shut just as the wolf was about to reach it. Open this door right now, the wolf growled. Or I'll break it down. No, Nif Nif squealed, I won't open it. Behind the door, you could hear the breath of the fearsome beast. I'll huff and puff and blow your house down, the wolf threatened again. Or else I'll blow so hard that your whole house will shatter. But Nif Nif was too scared to respond. Then the wolf began to blow, huff and puff. Straw fell from the roof, and the walls of the house trembled. The wolf took a deep breath and blew again, huff and puff. When the wolf blew for the third time, the house shattered in all directions, as if a hurricane had hit it. The wolf snapped his teeth right in front of the little piglet's nose, but Nif Nif skillfully dodged and ran away. Within a minute, he was at Nuff Nuff's door. As soon as the brothers had locked themselves in, they heard the wolf's voice. Now I'll eat both of you. Nif Nif and Nuff Nuff looked at each other in fear, but the wolf was very tired and decided to use a trick. I changed my mind, he said loudly enough for them to hear inside the house. I won't eat these skinny little pigs. I'm going home. Did you hear that? Nif Nif asked Nuff Nuff. He said he won't eat us. We're skinny. That's very good, Nuff Nuff said and stopped trembling. The brothers cheered up and sang as if nothing had happened. We're not afraid of the gray wolf, gray wolf, gray wolf. Where are you going, silly wolf, old wolf, scary wolf? But the wolf had no intention of leaving. He just stepped aside and waited. He had a hard time holding back his laughter. How cleverly I fooled those two foolish little pigs. When the piglets had calmed down, the wolf took a sheepskin and quietly approached the house. He covered himself with the sheepskin and knocked softly on the door. Nif Nif and Nuff Nuff were very frightened. Who's there? They asked, and their tails trembled again. "It's me, a poor little sheep," the wolf squeaked in a high-pitched voice. "Let me stay overnight. I've strayed from the flock and I'm so tired." "You can let the sheep in," Nuff Nuff agreed. "A sheep is not a wolf." But when the piglets opened the door, they saw not a sheep but the same sharp-toothed wolf. The brothers slammed the door shut and leaned on it with all their might to keep the fierce predator out. The wolf was very angry. He couldn't trick the piglets. He shook off the sheepskin and roared, "Well, wait a minute. There won't be anything left of this house." And he began to blow. The house tilted a bit, but no matter how hard he blew, not a single stone moved. The wolf turned blue from exertion. The house stood like a fortress. So, the wolf tried to shake the door, but it wouldn't budge. In his frustration, he scratched the walls with his claws and gnawed at the stones, only breaking his own nails and damaging his teeth. The hungry and angry wolf had nothing left to do but to retreat. But then he raised his head and noticed a large, white chimney on the roof. "Aha! I'll get into the house through this chimney," the wolf exclaimed with delight. He carefully climbed onto the roof and listened. It was quiet inside the house. "I'll have fresh piglet for dinner today," the wolf thought, licking his lips. He started down the chimney. But as soon as he started descending down the chimney, the piglets heard a rustling noise. And when soot began to fall from the chimney onto the kettle on the fire, clever Naf immediately understood what was happening. He rushed to the kettle, which had boiling water on the fire, and removed the lid. "Welcome," said Naf and winked at his brothers. The piglets didn't have to wait long. The wolf, covered in soot like a chimney sweep, tumbled straight into the kettle. His eyes popped out of his head, and his fur stood on end. With a wild roar, the scalded wolf jumped back onto the roof, rolled down to the ground, somersaulted 4 times over his head, and ran into the forest. And the 3 brothers, the 3 little piglets, watched him go and rejoiced that they had cleverly outwitted the wicked robber. No creature in the world can open this door. Cunning, fierce creature, can't open this door. You roam half the world, roam, roam, you won't find a better home, won't find. The wolf from the forest will never, never, never return to us here, to us here, to us here. From that day on, the brothers lived together under one roof. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like,